Look, when you're dealing with a loss, the very last thing you need to be doing is trying to figure out confusing workplace policies. That's exactly why we're here today. We're going to break down a typical bereavement leave policy, just to give you clear, simple information when you need it the most. It's a question nobody ever wants to have to ask, right? But knowing the answer ahead of time is just so important. In this explainer, we're going to give you that answer, using a typical company policy as our guide.
So, what's the whole point of bereavement leave anyway? Well, at its heart, it's there to be a support system. It's designed to give you paid time off so you can grieve, handle all the arrangements, and just be with your family, all without the extra stress of losing your pay.
And this gets right to the core of it. The key words here, excused with pay. This is so important because it's not just about getting approved time off. It's a paid benefit. It's meant to provide real, actual financial support when you're going through a tough time.
Okay, so like any policy, there are rules, and the most important one is about eligibility. So let's dive into who exactly qualifies for this paid leave.
The entire policy it all hinges on this one specific term, immediate family. And you got to know what you might think of as immediate family and what the policy defines as immediate family might be a little different. So understanding their definition is everything. And that's the thing. In this context, immediate family isn't just a general idea. It's a very specific, defined list of people. Your eligibility for paid time off depends completely on whether your loved one is on that list. And here is that exact list, straight from the policy. As you can see, it covers a pretty wide range of relationships, from your spouse and kids all the way to siblings, grandparents, and even some in-laws. It's a comprehensive list for sure, but to get the paid leave, the relationship has to be on it. Okay, so now we know who is covered. The next logical question is, for how long? Well, the policy doesn't have a single one-size-fits-all answer. Instead, it breaks things down into two distinct tiers of paid leave. And here's how that breakdown works. It's pretty simple. You get 5 days of paid leave for the loss of a spouse, a parent, or a child. For every other relative on that immediate family list we just saw, it provides for 3 days. This table just lays it all out, nice and clear, confirming those two tiers we just talked about. You can see it right there. 5 days for a spouse, parent, or child, and 3 days for everyone else on that immediate family list. Now, this is a really critical detail about the timing. This leave isn't something you can just use weeks later. It's specifically for your scheduled work days, so weekends and days off don't count. And it has to start immediately after the date of death. You know, knowing your rights is one thing, but knowing how to actually use them is another. Thankfully, the process for requesting this leave is actually really straightforward. Let's just walk through the 3 simple steps. It's really this simple. First, you just let management know what's happened. Second, you take the excused and paid days that you're entitled to. And third, when you get back to work, you provide some verification of the loss. It's designed to be as easy as possible during a really tough time. And what does verification even mean? Well, the policy is very clear here. You don't need to go get a death certificate or anything like that. All they're asking for is something simple, like a copy of the obituary or just a note from the funeral home. So this brings up a literally common question. What happens if the loss isn't in your immediate family according to that official list? Well, the policy does account for this, but the type of support it offers is different. And here's the key difference. We're shifting from paid leave to unpaid leave. For another specific group of relatives, you can still get approved for time off, but that time away will be without pay. And here is that second list. It includes roles like a legal guardian, and it also covers step-siblings and half-siblings. So the policy recognizes that these relationships are absolutely significant, and it offers the flexibility of approved time off, even if it has to be unpaid. So when you boil it all down, navigating this whole process really comes down to 2 main things. First, know the specifics of your policy. Who's covered, for how long? And second, just keep the lines of communication with your management open and clear. That really empowers you to get the support that you're entitled to. And all of this leaves us with a bigger question to think about, doesn't it? A policy like this gives a clear, helpful framework, but it also makes you wonder, as our lives and our families continue to evolve, how can our workplace policies evolve right along with them to give us even better, more compassionate support?